I don't care. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case
Yeah,
you've forgotten, Nurse Mark and I are going to remind you because he wrote a book all about it. AFA.
absolutely fucking amazing. And that's what you are. I don't know
That's
how to tell you in any other way. You're absolutely fucking amazing. It doesn't matter what anybody else is telling you. It doesn't even matter what you're telling yourself because that's what really counts.
I know.
And so the book really is about how to get to a place of loving yourself and understanding how absolutely amazing you are exactly as you are. No degree is going to make you any more amazing, no relationship, no amount of money, nothing. You are absolutely amazing exactly as you are.
Yep. That's the
So,
part that's so cool too, is just taking this time when you having the weird thought that you don't feel amazing to remember that you are. And we're going to tell you every
mhm.
single morning because I'm not going to lie, it feels good.
Well,
Feels
you
good to
have
wake
to. You
up
got to be reminded.
and to shift your perspective, from half glass empty to half glass full. And you just keep filling it up when you
That's
keep
right.
telling yourself how awesome you are.
You have to keep telling yourself because the world will tell you different. The expectations of society, the things you were told by your parents and grandparents and friends and community and everything. All of those messages that you've taken in, by the way, which your brain stores forever and ever and ever. It doesn't like stuff just goes in and it does not come back out. It squirrels around in there, whether you know it or not. And boy, it can have an effect on you. And that's what it's about. It's about getting back to peeling back all of those layers and getting back to that little baby that was born fresh and new without any imprints about what's going on. That's right, Denise. AFA, fill it up, baby. Good morning,
Fill it
Jack.
up.
Yes.
Good morning,
Yes.
everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're out there watching, say hello and let us know where you're from because
Yeah.
because here's the thing is I can't see anything. Mark can. And so
Sherry operates in the dark, and that's beautiful. That's great because you know what? She's just not distracted. She's like super focused on this. So
I'm super
welcome.
focused. Welcome,
Yeah,
everyone. Thank you for joining
welcome
us.
to Thursday, March 25th. Man, this year is flying by, and I'm excited. Oh, so excited to have this opportunity to live this day today. Oh my gosh, Sherry. So
Oh my gosh.
you've got some things to share this morning for the daily love.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's wow. It's in line with what I put out there this morning.
All right, good. So I
Hey,
think we
what's
should cover both.
up? Good
Right.
morning.
Hello, Maryland.
Hmm.
So I think what's kind of cool is it'd be like, how do our, daily love meditations processes in the morning, how do they cross over? Because they generally tend to vibe. And that's what we're talking
Vibe.
about.
They do
Vibes.
vibe. Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
you go first.
All
You go
right.
first.
So
Yeah.
good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, south of Boston, baby. Oh, I miss home. Boston, Massachusetts. My whole life, I lived there until 2018, and then I was in New York City, and then I was around the world. Let me tell you, there's no place like home, wherever
There's
that
no,
is for you. For me, it's the Boston area. Love my people, and I'm gonna be back soon.
I know, on the
So
farm. We've got
down on the farm.
so many exciting things going to
Oh
be
my
happening this
gosh.
summer on the farm.
Oh, so many events, and yeah, we're gonna kick it up on Osprey Point Farm.
Yep,
Mhm.
we are the
So,
Green Nurse
daily
community
yes, the Green Nurse
right on
community.
the farm.
The daily love this morning was from Dr. Wayne Dyer, who, I just love that guy, and it's from his little book called You Are What You Think.
There you
And
go.
so today, he talks about how in one magically mysterious nanosecond, we went from non-being to being. Like the human
Mm,
protoplasm emerged from spirit, and everything that was needed for the journey we call life was taken care of in that moment. So our ultimate height, our body shape, our eye color, our skin, our hair or lack of, the wrinkles that we'd someday have, and of course, ultimately our death, all predetermined. We had nothing to do with it at all.
There you
And
go. Now
yet here we are.
that's a
And
hard
here
one to
we
think
are
about.
in this physical manifestation. And like here's a few examples. I'm 6 foot tall. I had nothing to do with that.
There you go.
Nothing at all. No.
Yeah.
Predetermined. I was going to be 6 feet tall. That's what it is. I weigh 225 pounds. Now, you could say I could have something to do with that, or I had something to do with that, but I've been at that weight for 20 years. Whether I was dieting, not dieting, exercising, not exercising, that's where my body stays because that's what was predetermined, right?
Right.
So out of that, my commentary,
Mhm.
Sherry, was although we have no choice over that physical manifestation, we do have choice in what we do with it. We
Yeah.
do have a choice in the matter. And that's what
We
we consistently talk about is what are you going to do with this physical manifestation that you had zero to do with?
yeah.
What are you
What do
going to
you
do with it today?
How are you going to take care of your meat suit? That's what I
Yes.
call it, right? That's what it is. Your
Yes.
big freaking ball of meat. I think of Lady Gaga with all that meat on her body when she was singing. That's what seriously, that's what we are. We're flesh and we're bones, but we're so much more than that.
Yeah.
And that's what so we can't determine how our physicality may show up in the world, but we can have an impact on how we take care of
Mhm.
it to keep this one body healthy. And
Yes.
then what else? So let me just explore. I just want to make sure I get this. And so the next piece of it is our consciousness. That's
Mhm.
what we can control. So that was the gift we were given when we
Yes.
came in, is the
Although a lot of
ability.
it yeah, sorry.
No, that's
Yeah,
okay.
your
No, I want you.
ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I was going to say is, a lot of our consciousness, even is something that is predetermined for us, right? We have genetic predispositions for things. They think that, bipolar and some other mental illnesses are because there's a genetic twist somewhere and then an event
Right.
happens. And, it's all hypothesis, but they think that that's what happens. So, in my case, I carry a gene for, recurrent depression, and
Right.
I've had it my whole life, and mood disorder. That's what I have had to deal with. I didn't make it happen. I didn't ask for it to happen, but
Right.
that's what I got, right?
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I have choices on what I do with that now. Now that I
Yes.
know that that's what I've got, now I have choices. And that's where it comes into what we're talking about, and that's taking care of your meat suit and your
Taking care of your meat.
consciousness. Yeah.
And so everything, and that's the other point that we keep making over and over. We're going to
Mm,
bring it to the endocannabinoid system. Everything that we do or don't do in our lives in
yes.
regards to health and wellness affects the
Mhm.
endocannabinoid system either positively or negatively, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're either doing things to promote health, promote nourishment of the endocannabinoid system or not. And it's just those simple lifestyle things that we talk about every day.
Yeah.
And the mental, emotional, spiritual component of it is just as important as
Mhm.
all of the other activities. So that is why we start off with the daily love
Yeah, that's
every
right.
day.
And Beth, you're right. It's not your fault, but you can choose to be responsible. And that's
Yeah.
a choice. You can choose to be responsible, or you can just sit with what was not your fault and, you know, come what may, usually suffering, but you get to
Yep.
choose.
You
So
get to
Sherry,
choose.
you had a reading today,
Yeah,
and I
this is great.
really liked it. I really liked it.
So we talk about in the cannabis community vibes. We got high vibes, vibration. Oh, your vibe, oh, your energy. But
Mhm.
that's a real thing. So I've been reading this book. We have, it's Women's History Month. This is a book that was written a very long time ago. This was a fifth edition. It's called "The Light Shall Set You Free" by
Mm.
Dr. Norma Milanovich and Dr. Shirley McCune. They're psychiatrists, psychologists, and they're actually mediums, and they channeled in information from spirit.
Mm.
Really cool book. But anyways, they talk about the laws of the universe. And so I flipped open, and basically the law that came up was the law of vibration. So those
Mm.
vibes that we talk about. So the law of vibration states that everything in the universe is in motion,
There
and
we go.
objects and entities vibrate in a continuum. So we're vibrating in and out. Quantum physics.
Mm-hmm.
Next part, our thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
emotions, desires, and wills, what we will, what we intend, what we think,
Mm-hmm.
give off the vibration, which will affect us and those around us.
Yes.
Next part, higher powers, higher consciousness, the divine, right? An understanding. So the understanding of spiritual principles resides up in that higher field. How do we get there, right? When humans embrace higher consciousness, using the tools, our auras, our energy fields increases to the speed of light. So you think about when you do all of these spiritual tools, these alternative healing modalities, you feel really light.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
because you're vibing. Your body is actually vibrating at a higher frequency.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I love too, and this has to do with entrainment, and entrainment is definitely has something to do with quantum physics.
Mm-hmm.
Higher vibrations consume lower vibrations, right? So your effect, your positivity, your energy, the things that you can do to help yourself, you demonstrate by
Mm-hmm.
how you take care of yourself, you're healing others. Heal yourself, heal others.
Yeah.
Right?
See,
And then
I dig that.
last
Mhm.
one, what is willed? I love this one. This is about manifestation through the law of vibration.
Yep.
What is willed with strong emotion will be created and brought into reality. Boom, right? There you go. Passion,
Yeah.
purpose,
Yeah. Listen, we're getting into some quantum physics now. If you go deep into
vibes.
quantum physics,
Yeah.
holy cow, you will realize that you're no different than this coffee cup. Your molecules, your energy at its source, your energy. This is just a lower vibration, so it's solid. This is less of a low and more of a high vibration. Spirit's
Yeah.
just complete energy, high vibration.
My
So at
vibes.
the end of the
Yeah.
day, you can have an effect. So I'll tell you real quick, and then we're going to get into cannabis because I know we all love to talk about that in the endocannabinoid system. Back in 1998, I went to my first retreat at Kripalu, and I was super stressed, and I didn't know anything about yoga and all of this hoo-ha stuff. And I thought at the point it was like all just woo-woo, right? It's all this is just bullshit. All this talk. And I went to a week-long immersion. And one of the exercises that the leader of the coursework did is he had 3 people line up on one end of the stage, and he had a little divining rod. Now, you know, a divining rod is something that they used to find water, right? Back in the day, they'd look and they'd say, I'm going to dig a well for water, use a divining rod until it tips down. It's just a good spot for water. Now, what he did is he had this little stick, just like a divining rod, and he held it really firm against him. And he was on the other side of the stage, probably 30 feet away. And he said to the 3 people, hold your hands together, close your eyes. Don't worry, I'm not going to let you walk off the stage, but I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think of the worst experience that you've had in your life, the most negative thing that's ever happened. And I want you to walk towards me. As those people walked toward him, that divining rod started to point downward. It went all the way down. The closer they got with their negative thought, it went down. Now he
Wow.
reset. Now I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of crazy. They reset, put him across the stage, said, now hold your hands together, close your eyes. I want you to think of the most joyous moment in your life and walk towards me. And he held that divining stick. And as they walked towards him, it went in the completely opposite direction. They were emanating energy.
There
And
you
it was
go.
and negative and positive energy are polar opposites. So that's what
That's
manifested.
a
That's when I
that's a
began to
great story.
believe in all of this and started to
Yeah.
look at quantum physics and energy. So anyway,
Yeah. That's
there's
so
your
good. I
quantum
love that.
physics for the day.
That it's good. It's important because it's
It
different and
is.
it's progressive and it's
Yes.
showing up. It's showing up. It's starting to show up more and more in the traditional, what we call
Of course it
traditional
is.
system. Been around for
Yes.
centuries. Cosmic
Mhm.
consciousness coming in. So history.
Here we go. We're
Women.
going. It's Throwback Thursday, everybody.
Throwback Thursday. Women in history, cannabis history, and this woman, I met her actually at the 2018 Freedom Rally.
Woo.
She had just published her book.
Uh-huh.
Recent autobiography. Mila Jansen is her name, and she wrote "How I Became the Hash Queen," and it chronicles her historical entrepreneurial endeavors and illustrates her intimate relationship with cannabis through the lens of adventure. So she's a woman. She was born in 1944, and
Yeah.
she's been a trailblazer in the cannabis space for many, many years. So
Mhm.
her famous quote is, making hash out of trash. So just think, she's 77 years old right now.
Right.
So she's got a really cool story.
And isn't that it's funny to think, that she's my mom's age, right? My
Mm,
mom's no longer with us, but she is actually with us. But she's my mom's age in polar opposites in regard to cannabis. My mother was as anti-cannabis as anybody could ever be.
yeah,
Same age, same genre, different life experiences.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yes.
Mila, amazing.
Mm, she's Amelia, and Amelia Johnson, and she was just a beautiful, calm soul, just a ton of wisdom, from her life experiences and everything that she did. So she was responsible for creating this product.
Mhm.
Where is it freaking called? It's called the pollinator. Okay, so and it has to do with how you extract hash, how you make hash. So she was really into hash and utilizing hash in her life, and how she took care of herself
Mhm.
and used this plant. So before we talk a little bit about how she made that, there's a lot of people don't even know what hash is. you know,
Mm.
and we'll get into detail of how it was made next week. But my first experience with hash was in college. I remember one of my friends coming out with this thick black brick block, and we took a little bit and we put it on a thumbtack, and she lit it on fire and put a glass over it, and then the smoke filled up in the glass, and then we went, and that's how we inhaled the hash.
Mhm.
So I never really knew what it was, ever, until I started becoming a cannabis nurse. So how
Yeah.
about you, Mark? What is your experience with hash?
You know what? Similar to you, Sherry, back in the day, I was introduced to hash when I was an adolescent. That was most of my cannabis use was when I was, from the age of 12 to 17 when I went in the Marines. That's when it ended. And then
Yeah,
I wasn't I was cannabis agnostic until 2018. So that's
right.
a long stretch, right?
Yeah.
But hash was one of the things that was prevalent back in that particular time.
A
And
long, long
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Very long time.
Mhm,
So what is hash? What is it, right? So people, it's like, it's cannabis. What is it? It's like it's an
mhm,
extract, right?
mhm. Yeah.
And so when you think of the whole plant, we have these trichomes, these resinous glands, heads that contain all the medicine, the cannabinoids and the terpenes, and they line the surface of the cannabis plant. It's where our medicine is located. So what do
Mhm,
they want to do? Is they want all of these little trichome heads and all the medicine to come off. And so there's processes to achieve that resin separation. And it's been done for centuries and centuries and centuries. So some people say, like, in the olden days, the cannabis farmers, that they were handling the plant, and they would
mhm.
have all of the resin on their hands, and
Right.
they would
You
get their
can't handle
sticky.
a plant without getting it on you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they started rubbing their hands together, and they would start working with the sticky medicine and create that ball of hash.
Mhm.
So I thought that was really cool.
Right. And then, of
And then
course,
over
over
time,
time, right?
yeah, what happened
Yeah,
over time?
yeah. Over time, different extraction methods allowed for further refinement. There's a dry, sift through a screen. And most extraction methods, created this hard pressed brick like solids and made from the heat and the pressure, right? So
Yeah.
hash was very solid, very hard.
Mm. Then they developed this machine called the Master Sifter, right? So they're starting, here we go, we're talking about vibration. So think about it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
put the plant in this, and it's using vibration, and it's just shaking up this tray, and it's separating the trichome gland heads from the rest of the plant material. And then they make that into hash.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
next one that has to do with Mila, right, was, as the years are going on, the ice water extraction methods were developed as it further cleaned the plant material. So you think
Mhm.
about, you're shifting it all up, and then you're squishing it all up, and you have a darker component hash. So the ice
Mhm.
water extraction is more getting rid of that plant material to leave more of that concentrated medicine.
Right, right. Hardens the
Yeah,
waxes, you're able to strip them off, and yeah. So ice water
yeah,
cold extraction is really It's a common way of doing it now.
Yeah. So what Mila did, so what she did
Mm.
was she took all of these different patents from these different, and she developed a bag, a pollinator isolation bag. Just imagine this. This is what, at the age of what, in her 1994. She was born in
Yes, she's
1944.
in her she's in her 50s, yep, at that
Yeah, at the High Times Cup in Amsterdam, she unveiled the first mechanical tool to separate trichomes from other plant material.
Mhm.
Really cool.
Yeah, the
So
bubble
her the bubble bag. So
bag.
she so her story, her backstory,
Mhm.
you know, her backstory of what led her to become the hash queen.
Yeah, yeah. So there, we got some history in what else do you have to say about Mila?
So she basically, I love this story. So she grew up in England, and
Mhm,
she, was into gardening. She had a green thumb. She worked in greenhouses. And then slowly over time, she was introduced to cannabis. And she, just like so many herbalists, and I would like to say, herbalists and people that are conscious, she found this plant. She called it
mhm,
the mother of all sacred plants. And
right.
so she actually grew cannabis illegally in greenhouses in secret urban gardens around Amsterdam. So she was from Amsterdam, and she was
Mhm.
part of the big underground that made that city famous for cannabis.
And famous
So
it is.
it is
And if
famous.
you
So
haven't
this,
been to Amsterdam,
Mhm.
get on a plane and go, man. That is a beautiful city, and it's just the vibe is amazing.
Yeah, I've never been. And so, but what
Oh,
yeah,
so amazing.
on the bucket list, on the
Do
bucket
it.
list.
Do it.
So here she is. So here she is, her creation of the pollinator bag. So this is really cool. This is where women, you just think of the creativity and consciousness coming in, and how she
Right.
was able to figure out to create this. So she was washing her kids' clothes. I love this, right? And she saw them spinning and tumbling in the dryer. So she realized she was onto something. So this experience of using bags in the dryer would revolutionize the art of separating hash from trash. And so that's what inspired her famous catchphrase. So her dryer invention made it all simple, right? The pollinator's machine screen covered the spinning drum, which allowed the crystals to gently separate from the leaf,
Mhm.
and they were collected easily from the tray at the bottom of the box. So it's just another, just the dryer, bags,
Yeah.
putting it together, cleaner extraction. And then
Mm.
she built a company. So this is just so cool. So, then this progresses, leading into her building a company based on the equipment that she designed for solventless extraction, right? And so, she is now mentoring the new generation of hash makers. And basically, she was named one of the top 100 most influential people in cannabis by High Times Magazine. Right. So she's really fascinating. So her love of cannabis,
Mhm.
specifically hash, sent her on the mission around the world to taste and procure the creme de la creme. So, and yeah, so she's become a truly a female cannabis icon. And it
As
was
she should
really,
be.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Couple
Yeah.
other things too. So she invented this 26 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so the pollinator she invented first, and then she was also the first to produce, you ready? The
Mhm.
isolator bags, just another tool to help
Right.
extract. She also invented the bubbleator.
I love the
And they,
bubbleator.
right? And
Yeah.
so the bubbleator actually makes cold water extraction easy to do at home. So they have all of these gadgets on the market now, and there's something for everyone to explore if this is the way you want to consume.
Yes.
So
Yes.
anyways,
Mhm.
she's quoted, this is great, this is a wise woman, and she's quoted because she's in the progression of these evolutionary times with this
Mhm.
plant. So
Mhm.
she said the hash culture grew out of the weed culture. I guess it is the same thing with dabbing culture being the next step after hash. It's the progression of things. We have to move with the times. The
Yeah.
most important thing is that we are a community and we love
Love
this
this
plant,
plant.
right? So vibes,
Yes.
vibration, it all makes sense. This wise woman who, had a passion, had a
Yeah.
purpose, and, revolutionizing how we use this plant and using clean extracted methods. I love her.
Right.
Mila.
And if you want to read Mila's book, you can get it on Amazon. It's How I Became the Hash Queen. It was published in 2018 by Mama Editions, Paris. You can go to the website, www.mamaeditions.com. And Mila's company website is www.pollinator.nl.
There you go. So Mila, you guys all
Yeah.
have to explore
Women
her.
in cannabis. I think that's why we're here, right? I'm the outlier. I'm a male nurse.
You're awesome.
It's nurses, it's women in cannabis that have moved this thing forward as a healing plant. God bless that.
I'm going to say too, Mark, you're part of this movement because you are loving. You're the worshiper of goddesses, and all of us. You're the worst. He is. He's the worshiper of goddesses, and he loves all of the women in his life, and you're helping us. You are truly like containing all of our passionate, frenetic energy. You're helping us, right?
Yeah.
Great. So you're a big part of the movement, and you know how much we love you.
So all you wonderful women in cannabis here supporting, you are the reason this is where it's at now. And we're moving this thing more and more into the mainstream. Yes.
And I want to thank all the men out there that are supporting the women that are coming forward and, really nourishing our wisdom, our innate divine wisdom, and how we want to bring this to everyone peacefully, safely, securely, so everyone has a happy experience. So this has been an awesome show.
Thursday, Mark, Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
March 25th, the only March 25th that we're going to have all day. All day. That's it from 2021.
This is it's the only March 25th you get.
That's it.
Vibrate today.
Vibrate. And
tomorrow's vibration.
Tomorrow is Frequency Friday. So we are going to literally talk. We're going to be vibrating in the Green Nurse community, talking about Reiki, reconnective healing, and Healy energy frequencies. So it'll be really great tomorrow morning after our 8 a.m. show.
Oh, you have to explore that.
Yep.
So good.
So we'll
be back tomorrow at 8 a.m.
We will.
Another AFA.
We will. And so if you or someone you love, I'm just going to give ourselves a quick plug because this is why we're here every day. We want you to reach out to us. We want to help you. We want to guide you and your loved ones if you're suffering from chronic illness, chronic pain. If you're interested in learning how to incorporate cannabis as a wellness tool, or you're interested and curious in having an adult use experience using it recreationally, we are here to guide you, educate, and empower you to learn about how to make this plant work for you to create the experience that you're looking for. So www.thegreennurse.com. And Mark, we're looking for nurse practitioners.
Oh my God. We are looking for nurse practitioners in Massachusetts specifically to help with certifying cannabis patients. And guess what? You don't have to know anything about cannabis to do this. We'll train you, we'll teach you, we'll coach you on everything you need to know. And for certifying someone, you don't really need to know much.
All you need, really, all they give you is a piece of paper. And you just have to look at the paper and look at the patient's diagnoses, and that's it. It's easy. And that's what we do is we'll do the education, the consulting, and we teach you how to we'll teach you how to become a cannabis clinician. You can just start off by learning the ropes. It's time
for you to join us. It is. So spread the word. We'd love to have you as part of the Green Nurse community. We'd love to have all of you as part of the Green Nurse community. Actually, everybody who's here now, you already are, whether you know it or not. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
We're going places.
We are. Get on the bus.
That's it, Sherry. Yeah. So I'm going to have an AFA day. Me too. Yeah. And Sherry, what's it all about?
Oh, Mark, I thought you would never ask. It's about living your best life and helping others do the same.
That's right. All right. Love you, everybody. Have a great day today. See you soon, like tomorrow at 8 a.m. And hopefully physically soon down on the farm for one of the Green Nurse community events. All right. Take care.